So this is a cast about retiring early, building a business at a young time, and retiring early to sell your leads. Oh yeah, stay to the end to find out more. Welcome to the news. So all we're kind of basically talking about is doing something for a living that you can comply with, that you can compete with, that you can feel happy about doing for some time. That you basically, when you're living in a certain space, when you're living in an economy, when you're living in a society for some time, that you have it in mind, that you do it for a certain time, and then you have the ability to try to transition at a later time to be able to try to retire early by transitioning and selling your leads. But at first, you actually just set up a business. You set up and make a business for yourself that in essence corresponds to setting yourself up for your own well-being, for your own living, to make yourself a living. So you run the business to make yourself a living. That's about it. But in doing that, you have to market, you have to set up a shop, you have to initialize yourself within a community, you have to familiarize yourself within a community, you have to brand yourself, you have to brand and familiarize so that in essence people want to circulate and become returning customers. But in essence, you become familiar, you become a regular figure because you're from the town, you're from the area, you're from the space, you're from the zone where you're trying to set up a shop. And eventually when you set up a shop, people know your brand. People know your brand because you're doing it for your own living for some time, for a while. You can call it 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, 10 years. Regardless, the idea is to be able to retire early by selling your leads and positioning yourself and your business so that once you close up and you're ready to try to go live elsewhere, so that you can in essence have a game plan, a mindset, a trajectory, an investment portfolio sort of in place, so that all the years that even when you're in business, you're taking and scraping cash from the top and reserving the reserves to compile and continue to compound interest over time in the short and the long term, so that even by the time that you're ready to exit and before you're ready to segue and sell your leads as additional ongoing income, that you have a stacked portfolio with a little bit of compound residuals and compounding trajectory interest in terms of your existing cash flow before you even check out. And then by the time you check out, because you've developed familiarity, you've developed a zone in your space, in your local community where people recognize the familiarity within your offerings, that by the time you're ready to check out, people still will respect your brand. They'll still respect your brand and your face on your leads, and your leads can be then fulfilled by a different vendor, a vendor that you trust, that could be called a partner, basically more or less a partner, and that partner connects with fulfillment. They just connect with fulfillment, and you either get paid out on commission and cost for leads, which you're giving them for free, or you get payment for the leads, direct payment, and both of them have basically value added so that the leads and the commission are potentially connected with each other for ongoing continual conceptual retirement income flow. So you've got overhead income compounding from past investment compounds and cash flow from dividends ideally, and at the same time lead generation and lead reciprocation and lead recycling and lead sales and commission flow and commission sales for leads that hopefully can result in commission splits, potentially depending on the size of the deals and the industry to a certain degree. But typically speaking, just the lead flow in of itself is enough to want to be able to sell out cash flow. Basically, you sell out cash flow, just like a well of water, basically, for someone to be able to come through and have your water, that you basically rent out the spigot so that you can retire early. The interest is to retire early from selling leads. Anyway, that's about all for now. Thanks again, Digitech Change for Game Studios. Bye, peace, bye. Yeah. Let's also remember to push for world peace. Let's push for world peace. And let's also remember to clear the animal shelters. Let's clear the animal shelters. Clear the animal shelters by hiring all the shelter animals as healers throughout our communities, throughout the world. Hire the shelter animals as healers throughout communities to heal us as humans and cause us to be more harmonious among all of humanity with each other. By fostering the shelter animals, by adopting the shelter animals, and by hiring the shelter animals as healers. And rescuing the shelter animals. To clear the animal shelters, adopt, foster, rescue, hire the shelter animals as healers throughout our communities so that we can be more harmonious as human beings throughout the planet. And develop the global good deeds economy. That's all for now. Thanks again, Tiki Tech Twins for Game Studios. Bye. Peace. Bye.